Oh, welcome back. As a lot of folks have returned to working in the office after the early pandemic days, some people have been fortunate enough to continue working from home. And if that's you, according to a new study, you are living in the fifth best metropolitan city for working remotely.
So joining us right now to break down this study is Design Rush SEO Director Robin Fishley. Ms. Fishley, first, can you tell us what is Design Rush?
Design Rush is it's Mr. Fishley, by the way. Design Rush is, we help connect businesses with agencies around the USA. So we have a selection of agencies that we list, and then we help connect people looking for agencies to do their work with the best agencies in the country to do the best job for them. And yeah, we're passionate about remote working because we're actually a fully remote company. We're based out of Miami, but we've got people all over the world. So we know a thing or two about remote working.
Yeah, absolutely. So then tell us about the study then, what you found in terms of Houstonians and remote working.
Yeah, so we looked at a number of factors, and we looked at every metro in the US. Texas has got 25 of the major metros, so quite a big cohort of data. And in Houston ranks very well. I think it's because the city itself is it's one of the major cities in the U.S. It's got all the amenities people would want. It's cheaper than the traditional tech capitals on the east and west coast, and it's different. And obviously, Texas was one of the winners in the big tech exodus in 2021.
You mentioned
basically COVID forced people to reconsider their ways of working, and Texas was one of the winners of that exodus. There's a number of reasons. I mean, I can talk about them.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that? What factors did you consider for this?
So we looked at the most pertinent factors to remote working. So the most important factor was the number of people who work from home already. So is the location attractive to people? So is there a trend of people working from home? We looked at housing prices, cost of living. We looked at energy prices. We looked at the cost of data. So we went even as far as that. So we looked at all the different things. We looked at the time it takes to travel into work. And we basically created an index and we weighted all of those. We did a mini survey of remote workers to see which of those elements are most important to them. And then we used those results to weight the metrics and then assessed all of the metros in the USA using those metrics.
So your study more shows like why it is advantageous for people in our area to work from home, or for employers to hire people to work from home in our area, not necessarily fifth in the country for people who are already doing so.
Yeah, so it's a bit of both, actually. So one of the biggest factors was the number of people who were already working from home and the change over the past year. So we saw that some cities, for example, had a huge increase, whereas Houston this is one of the only negative rankings, actually. Houston actually went down. So more people returned to the office in Houston than the national average. I think that's maybe because you've got such a well-developed downtown area, lots of big businesses and lots of hands-on industry. So Houston didn't have that benefit, whereas a city like Austin, which is a lot more online and less hands-on, did have that benefit. So they almost doubled in the number of, they double what the national average is. So that's the one detractor for Houston. Otherwise, it's, we want people to realize that working from home is actually a lot more beneficial. So I personally am much more productive when I work from home because I don't have the distractions, because I'm so the chat around the office keeps me severely distracted, whereas when I'm at home, I'm in my little zone and I can just focus on getting the work done.
Yeah, I would actually agree with you on that. But how can Houston move up on that list to be better for working at home?
So one of the things that the Design Rush study shows us is that the taxation, so the local government can actually play a role. So we see where places where the tax regime is lighter or more attractive actually attracts more workers. It's also about a bit of PR. So Austin, for example, has had this reputation of being a hipster go-to location, whereas Houston hasn't really, and people aren't thinking about it. So I think there's an opportunity to educate people and tell them how good Houston could be for remote workers. But I do think that the local governments can make rules more attractive. I think the zoning laws in Houston are actually already quite attractive, so you can have work and residential in the same area. So there's no complexities there, whereas California is full of those.
Yeah,
so
by that you
we
mean
just need
no
to let
zoning,
people know
right?
that.
By that you mean no. And Robin, we're going to have to get you to fix that lighting if you want to continue to work from home and do these Zooms.
Sorry about that. I'm actually in Africa at the moment because I'm remote. I can be all over the world. And yeah, apologies for the bad connection.
I'm just kidding. No, great connection. I was just teasing you about the lighting, but that's a perfect example of you doing this interview from Africa, working remotely.
You can be wherever you want, huh?
Yeah, we know there are a lot of.
That's the beauty. And at Design Rush, some of our team actually can go work from the mountains for a week, snowboarding, skiing, and actually be just as effective. So we think it's a really good way to move forward for work-life balance.
Yeah,
the best of both worlds.
I feel like you don't have to sell the employees. It's the employers that you're speaking to,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we've got a forward-thinking, our employer at Design Rush, Gabe Sholian and Gianluca Ferrugia, they're both very forward-thinking, and they actually encourage us to do these things, and they've realized the benefit. They were ahead of the curve, so we started being fully remote in 2017, so we've been around for a while, and we're just growing, and everyone loves it. We can hire talent from all over the world, any country. So Design Rush is happy and we're growing. So it works for us.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, certainly we saw during the pandemic that it led to less congestion on the roadways, but now we're seeing that there are some, empty buildings. You talked about a robust downtown, but there are not necessarily downtown, but empty buildings where they used to be filled with workers, empty offices.
Sure,
So definitely an interesting topic.
I mean, we should find alternative uses for these empty buildings. I think there's things we can do. We're an enterprising bunch, and I think we need to find alternative uses. Perhaps there's, like I worked in London for a few months last year, and there's some interesting conversions to residential in the downtown skyscrapers, or certainly in the less attractive parts of the city. So there's things we can do. And that will get people back into the city, living and working. So there's solutions.
All right, Robin Fischli.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you taking out time to talk with us.
Thank you for listening. Thanks, Haley. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Robin.